live. Alright, beautiful. We are live. So, want to introduce my lovely friend Riota, also known as Chiba Gaming, from Japan. We've been trying to talk for a long time now. You know, like every few months we would text via Twitter to try to set this up. Riota became a father about 8 months ago. Is that accurate, my friend? October. Beautiful, beautiful. I remember it distinctly because it. No, sorry. I was gonna say I remember it distinctly because the day you posted, on Twitter, the arrival of your daughter was the day I learned that I would become a father. 9 months from then, so it was it was always something that stuck in my mind. I was like, that's definitely gonna be something I want to talk to him about. The experience of becoming a daddy. You know, Riota, you are one of the few. Thank you. There was someone said liking the beard. You are one of the few normal people on this corner of the internet who you can't hear. Oh, hold on. Here, they should be able to hear now. Sorry, thank you guys for that. They should be able to hear you now. Don't worry. He just said that he became a father in October of last year, and I was responding to him saying that around the time that he became a father was the time that I learned I would become a father. So it always stuck with me. I saw it on his Twitter feed. If you, Riota, you are one of the few normal people on this corner of the internet. Definitely someone I wanted to talk to for a while. I feel like there's a lot of insanity on this corner of the internet. A lot of weird people. There's not a whole lot of people who have their crap together, and you're a gentleman who takes care of his life well. You're a gentleman who takes care of his body well. You're a gentleman who has his shit in order. And you're someone I've been wanting to talk to for a long time. So thank you for making the time to talk.
Hi. Yeah. Just because I just come from a type of place to where like I don't take internet too serious. Um, I only got on YouTube so I can share my passion of gaming of not only Japan but also America. So we combine our interests together. So that's why I don't really dabble too much into like the drama.
Hmm.
If there is drama, I kind of step away from it almost immediately. The only drama that I have was with LTG, but even then, um, I got past that part of my life, and I felt that I was kind of going down a rabbit hole, which I didn't want to go down anymore. And I felt like I was kind of being stuck on the type of curation that I was trying to make for my channel. I didn't want my channel to be just strictly LTG detracting. Only reason why I kind of did those kind of videos was because I wanted to expose the type of person that he really is, and that everything he says is like a bunch of lie, and it's not true. Like I said, I'm real life friends with Tokido, and I'm real life friends with Fudo, Johnny, who lives in Japan, and I know those guys really really well. So I just wanted to share my passion of gaming into here. But then what really made me kind of step away from everything was when I found out that I was going to be a dad, and that's when I really had to step away from that type of the community. It was nothing to nothing too personal, if that makes sense. I kind of just wanted to. Okay, I said what I have to say, but then you had guys like really good guys. Like you had guys like yourself, Slayer, um, Chekla, those guys. They was really pretty much saying that everything that I was saying. So I thought if they're seeing anything I have to say, but better, then what I'm doing is it's finished. That makes sense. So that means I don't have to make any more videos. I've noticed that some people they want to keep pushing an agenda when it's already been said or said better. So because you got really, really good guys like Chekla, Joshua Cornstar, yourself, Slayer, even Anonymous C, who was also considered one of the original detractors. Not a lot of people know that, but Anonymous C, he's been around when I first started as well. Um, so when I found out that these guys were doing it not even better, but when they was explaining the messages a lot better, then I felt okay. My message has been said. People know that LTG is a racist. Um, Again, he called me a rice eater, and I wanted to expose the type of racist he is. And then I guess the guys came and picked up the rest of the ammo and used it. Sorry, and used it
Yep.
for me. And that was pretty much the end of my LTG detracting. So then I went on to just started doing what I wanted to do, and that's making tutorials. Um, I'm a really big fan of NJPW and WWE games, so a lot of my content is centered around that now, because I know that's where most of my views and my subscribers come from. So I kind of just wanted to stick on that. But my biggest goal here was to just continue my origins on why I started this channel. I didn't want to become too much of a drama infested channel. So there's people to this day asking me, Chiba, are you going to make more LTG videos? Are you going to make LTG more videos? I'm like, no, I don't feel like I want to be a part of that community anymore. My biggest mission right now is taking care of my daughter, taking care of my wife, my family, and just having fun with life. So as I said earlier, I just don't take the internet too serious as most people do.
Very well said, my friend. Very well said. Anders Pack, thank you so much for the 100 Swedish krona. You said have a good one, Salad. I'm not sure I'll make it. Don't worry, buddy. Yeah, there's always going to be people who ask you to come back, but I agree with what you said completely. Like, there's no point in treading the same road that someone else has already tread, right? Especially if you feel like it's been done thoroughly. Why beat the horse to death? Why relegate your channel to merely being an echo of what someone else has already said? Um, and there's always
Right.
going to, yeah, and there's always going to be people filling that void. Like anyone who's not subscribed to Shang Tsung and wants more of that type of
Oh,
DLSS
yes,
stuff.
exactly. And Shang Tsung is literally like the guy. And I don't want to I don't want to put someone down on a pedestal like on top of the list, but Shang Tsung, he's like bringing out so much stuff that I didn't even know when I was doing the tracking content. So I thought, I don't know. So Sing Sun, definitely go check out Sing Sun.
Well said. Well said. And who else was saying that? Matt, the guy that you're talking about spamming on Twitter, that's Laz. I just ignore Laz these days. God bless him. I just feel bad for the kid. Uh, but that aside, so Chiba, you becoming a father 8 months ago. I didn't know you were married too. God bless. May I ask when you got married?
I got married at summer of 2023.
Beautiful.
I had A in 23, so around almost around the same year. So
Beautiful.
that was almost like my what's that called? My wedding present.
Learning of the baby.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best wedding present, isn't it? God bless. How'd you meet your wife? May I ask?
So my wife, she is Korean and she's Japanese.
No kidding.
Um, I just met her basically like probably like 3 years, 3 to 4 years ago. I was just at a stop sign or something. Because for those who don't know, that I am officer in Japan,
Oh,
specifically in the Shibuya district. Um, so I just met her there, and I just started talking to her, and you know, and that I think actually just hit it off from there. I guess we just had a really good chemistry, and started dating a little bit soon after. A lot of people don't know that Koreans and Japanese we have like a really strict kind of law.
yes.
So my mom didn't approve of her, but her dad approved of me. So it was almost like the families wanted us together. Um, and I guess we kind of just listened. But and my sister, by the way, she lives in America, and when she found out that my wife was Korean and Japanese, um, she embraced it, she accepted it,
Beautiful.
and we just been together ever since.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And you are right, man. It's crazy how deep rooted that tension is still to this day. I mean, when I was deployed to Korea, in fact, they would tell me not to, basically don't mention Japan
Yeah,
whatsoever. Don't mention them to Korean people. So,
yeah. For me, I don't care because you could be Korean. Like for all right, so you could be Korean, you could be Chinese, you can be Japanese, you could be black, you can be white, Hispanic. I don't care. It's just all about the chemistry that I can get from you. And I come from a family who's I wouldn't say is rare Japan, but the truth is, the sole purpose of my family sending me and my sister to America, because I didn't do high school in Japan. I did high school in America,
hmm I didn't know
and my
that.
parents wanted us, excuse me, to actually branch out. That's how I learned the English. That's how I learned the customs of America. So all in all, whether you're Asian or you're not Asian, we all come from the same like type of blood, and race shouldn't matter. You could be yellow, and if I like you, I would still date you.
Well said.
So I didn't really care that she was Korean and Japanese.
hmm Beautiful. Beautiful. And I agree completely. You're going to find good people and bad people of all backgrounds. Are we still live, guys? We're still good? Okay. Um, I didn't know that you went to high school in America. May I ask where about that was? Was that like West Coast, I have to imagine? Like,
Yeah, no, that was I'm not too sure. Maybe you can tell me. It's a little bit. It's the Jersey Shore, New
mm,
Jersey.
wow, the East Coast.
Okay, yeah. So, it was when we first got here. I mean, when we first got to America, um, it was new because everyone knows that in Japan or China or wherever you're from, everyone is pretty much Japanese,
Right.
Chinese, or Korean. When you go to America, it's so diverse. So you see a bunch of black people, you see a bunch of white people, you see a bunch of Asians, you see a bunch of just everywhere. And I thought that was really, really beautiful because everything and everybody was like so attacked. There was people interracial, and then there was people, dating other races. So I thought that was really cool because in Japan, it's nothing but Japanese people. That's why they say that it's xenophobic, or what is that called? Different um, parts of the world, and kind of putting it into America so that foreigners can feel at home and safe.
hmm hmm So, so you went to high school in New Jersey. So that was all 4 years straight that you were in New Jersey.
Yeah, that was 4 years straight, and
Wow.
then when I turned 18, you you can't have dual citizenship.
hmm
So I had to choose between. All right, so Japan, you can only have one citizenship.
Right.
You can't have dual. My sister decided to stay. I decided to come back to Japan.
Wow.
So it was a tough decision, but in my deep down of hearts, I didn't really like America too much.
hmm
So I chose, and nothing like not because I didn't like America too much, but because I was feeling like I missed my friends and I
Right.
wanted to be back more comfortable. I just told Japan as my citizenship.
Japan was your home. Is
Yeah, I chose Japan as my permanent.
were your parents also in Japan at the time? So like your sister is the only one who decided to stay in America.
Yeah, so my parents they lived in Japan all their life.
hmm
Um, but we do have some family. We had like a cousin
Right.
or a family relative that lived in New Jersey. She has a hibachi, so they were staying with her when we were in high school.
I see.
And then she would pay our our family friend some money so she could take care of us when we were kids. So we did the high school, and then when it came time for to choose, but you gotta go through an entire process because we had to go to the state of New Jersey. Then we had to go to Japan, the embassy, and then we had to choose what I wanted to do. So I just chose Japan as the country that I wanted to keep my citizenship for. Because when you're born in Japan, and people don't know this, but you can be a white person, right? You can be a white person, but if you're born in Japan, that would make you Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not. Or if you're a black and you were born in Japan, you're Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Japanese isn't just about being Southeast Asian. You can be as dark as night, but if you were born in Japan, you're Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. Yeah, and
So
a lot of
if
people don't know
you
that.
ever hear like Ashley, I'm sorry, but Ashley, there's a lot of like famous actors that's black in Japan, and I don't know if you guys watch Kamen Rider, but there's this really famous actor. He's he's black, but he speaks nothing but Japanese.
I see. Kamen Rider. I always thought Kamen Rider was an anime. I never watched it. Oh, I see. I see. No, it's a
Yeah,
live
it's more
action
like a
series.
darker. It's like a darker Sentai.
Mm-hmm. I see. I see. I don't know why I always thought that was an anime. But yeah, I never got the chance to watch it. Yeah, it's definitely something I'll have to look into. Um, Cal Hardy, what do you mean? Someone said he regrets visiting Japan when he was in the Navy. I'm surprised, man. I don't know why you feel that way. But yeah, like Chiba was saying, a lot of people don't know that America is one of the few countries where they permit you to have dual citizenship, and a lot of other countries won't permit you to have that. I think China is one of the few that lets you do it too, and a lot of Chinese women will like when they're 8.5 months pregnant, they'll come to America just to give birth, get their kid the birthright citizenship, and then fly back to China. So they game that system really well. But yeah, in a lot of countries like Japan, you have to make the choice once you come of adulthood. Uh, you said I'm thinking of One Punch Man. No, I see.
Yeah, so so I just decided to just go back to Japan. So when I turned, I probably stayed, and I don't remember, but I think I did a semester of college, and then I went back to Japan, and then I took the American college credits and I used it, and in the Japan school.
Smart man. Smart man.
But yeah, but other than that, I mean, I just been pretty much just making my content, making the content that I want to make, um, taking care of my family, and just just don't want to have to do. Just trying to stay out of trouble and just continue making content for people. Um, I do miss you guys a lot. I do miss the community, but people know that I'm still around, and you guys will always be like my internet family because I like everybody. I like you. I like Vought. I like Slayer. Um, I like who's the other guy?
Shang.
Uh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Chakla. I can't
Mm-hmm.
forget Chakla.
Chocolate.
There's a bunch of you guys I miss, but I know you guys are still, around, and I think that what we did, what Lotier God like to say, the knights at the round table, I think we did a really good job at cracking him. A lot of people put a more, excuse me, a lot of people put more dents into the shield than what I did. Um, and it really exposed him for what he really was. But at the end of the day, I think all of us came together and really explode. It really exposed him for the type of person he really is. And to be honest, I think instead of people seeing check out this tier list of the best troll channels, I think that people need to say every troll channel is pretty good
Mm-hmm.
because we all have played a part into exposing LTG.
I agree. I agree completely. Pay it forward. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I love seeing guys come up. I love seeing them succeed, and I love it if I can help them even a little bit to succeed. If I can give them even a little bit of push.
I mean, you're gonna. Um, I'm happy that you personally you get a lot of your credit because I know that you do get a lot of your credit, but I think that you deserve more credit than what you're giving because you are actually going into the war zone of such say. You're actually going into the territory of Dale Wilson. Like I think you went to his house in one of your videos, and I think you actually moved there or something. So that's a lot of stuff that most people are afraid to do. I personally, I wouldn't do that only because again, I don't take the internet too serious. But I think that you were trying to prove a point that there's nothing to be afraid of, and I think that you were just trying to set an example for people that if they really wanted to step into his territory, you can. And it has a license plate right there.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I have it
that's
hanging
great.
up. You just can't see it a lot of the time because of the way my camera is angled. But I
That's
usually have it
great.
hanging up in the
But
hall.
you took it off his car and then you just left, or
Oh yeah, all I'm saying is in California, I think they no longer prosecute crimes where the theft constitutes like a value below $1,000. So like, and a license plate costs you like $10 at the DMV. So I'm not saying I did it, but I'm saying if I did it.
no. But I think that you're a great guy, Salo. Um, you're very definitely well spoken. You're definitely optimistic when it comes to a lot of stuff. Um, I do watch some of your podcasts if I have the time. The last one I did see was the one with what's that guy's name? What's
Matt,
his name? He left recently. I think he deleted his
Vault
channel.
could be
I
Vault.
forgot. No, it wasn't Vault. Uh, he was the black guy with the beard. He's Sonic. Here's the page. Sonic.
It's your man's will. Yeah, yeah, it's your man's will. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Will.
yep, yep.
Yeah, I saw that podcast, and that was really good. I actually did enjoy that podcast. Yeah, actually, I like how you're just open to getting the size of stories without um, patronizing, or you actually genuinely do care about people. And
I
this community is definitely grateful to have you. So you keep doing what you're doing. It's definitely working, and people do love you and contributions that you have put into everything.
Thank you, Chiba. First of all, your compliments mean the world to me. That's extremely meaningful, especially coming from you, a gentleman that I have massive respect for. And yeah, like even guys like Will, I wish Will the best, and I really hoped that whatever he has going on, I just hope one day he conquers his demons. I hope one day he finds a way to re-engage content creation in a manner that doesn't kind of put him at the foray of drama. Like I was really trying to tell Will that he should lean into like doing his Sonic stuff on TikTok because I feel like that would be a benign form of content creation that could, he could really let out that expressive part of his soul without getting drawn into drama. But I don't know. I just hope for the best for him. And thank you for saying that, Chiba. I've been subscribed to you
I
for
don't know
years.
if you do remember, but
Go ahead.
I don't know if you remember, but he was actually doing something pretty good. He was making like these little clones of himself. And he would talk to. It would be like his old version of himself, and then it'll be like his current self, and they would have like conversations. I thought that was really good and very creative. So in one of his videos, it will be like it's your man Will, and then another guy it'll be like it'll say it. Oh, I can't remember, but
Sonic
it was like two
Hog.
Will.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
Too.
it was like Ghetto Hog and it's your man Wills, and they would have like therapy sessions,
Yeah.
and he would talk. They would talk to each other. How he did that was very creative and it was very unique. It was almost like a form of his own therapy, and I thought that was really good.
Inverted 31. Sorry to briefly change the subject. Sorry to hear that you had foot surgery, inverted 31. Hope you get well very soon, my friend. You know, you lose one foot, you got the other, right? You got a spare. Don't worry about it, brother. But yeah, I agree, Chiba. I think there's definitely a lot of creative potential that gentleman has, and it you know, it makes me sad that sometimes he finds the drama a little too addictive, and he can't help but put himself in harm's way mentally because of it. But
If there's one thing that I wish I had spoke to him before he had left, is that I think he had let the internet get to him way too much because he worked really hard for that channel.
yes,
I think he had like 50,000 subscribers.
yeah, yeah,
That's a lot of work.
yes,
I've One thing that we all have to realize, and one thing I finally realized, is that there are going to be people who like my content and people who don't like my content, and there's going to be people who support me and don't support me. I shouldn't let some people who don't like my content run me off YouTube or make me delete my channel. I worked really hard for the 3,000 subscribers that I do have. You worked really hard for the 8,000 subscribers that you have, and Will worked his ass off for the 50,000 subscribers that he has. I don't think that people should be that influenced enough to, because guys like, Chozo or whatever was getting to him, that he had to delete his channel. That's a really, really, really bad idea. I wish he had just stuck around with it for a lot longer. It's going to be criticism in every part of the internet. Criticism, you can't avoid criticism. If anything, you just gotta learn from it, block and move on. Block and move on. Because when you respond to it, that's when the trolls or the detractors would get you. But it's another thing is too, and this is what I want to say too. That's why when I first started my channel, when I first started making my YouTube videos, I didn't want to do anything drama related because the first impression is the last impression, and I didn't want a long track history of saying, "Hey, look, this is what Chiba used to be. He used to be making fun of Americans, or used to be making fun of Germans, whatever." So people gonna be digging for you. People gonna be looking for you, and if they don't have anything, then you're good. So I think with Will, he just got so addicted to the drama that he didn't care too much. He didn't really focus too much on what his purpose is. Like I said in the very beginning, my channel is just to help people. My channel is to bring my passion of the games that I enjoy into America and Japan. So that way I have not only my homeland, but I have a land I also respect, which is America. And then friends like you, friends like Chekla, Anonymous C, those guys, you guys been around for a lot longer, and you see me climb up the wall to get to where I am today. So I think that if Will had just stuck to his guns, like he said, I think he would have been doing great things. I didn't know that Dab's TV passed away.
yes, yes.
I found that out really recently, and I'm so sorry that he passed on. This goes to show you that the internet is really dangerous, and I think sometimes instead of deleting your channels, take a step back and just don't take it too serious. Because when you take stuff too serious, then that's when your life turns to crap.
I agree.
Oh, sorry, that's my telephone. That's my.
No, you're fine.
But I think if people just relax on the internet, and just not take things so serious, I'm gonna tell you something. I think what really, really, really made me change my whole perspective of my life, not just YouTube, was when I had a kid and I had a daughter being born. Because now I became a dad, so I had to look at every single thing in a different light. So I'm doing these things to make sure that my daughter is protected. That I'm being a good role model for my daughter. I don't want her to grow older when she's like 24 years old and she sees Chiba Gaming JP of drama videos. or in Japan, or if she decides to go to America, and then they say, "Hey, I didn't know Riota was your dad. You know your dad's a piece of crap, right?" That's gonna hurt. So I think everything is about just. It took me to have a daughter to really, 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 really just do a flip on everything. Um, Sometimes bringing new life into an old life will birth a better life. In my case, it did. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm a brag, but my life has always been pretty much safe.
Mm.
Not in terms of money, but in terms of values, respect, and morals. That's one thing that my parents have taught me and my sister was to respect everybody. Respect those who respect you, respect the culture, respect the person, and they will respect you. And this is why I am the way I am. Um, Inverted said I'm a sweet guy. I don't say that I'm a sweet guy. I just respect you. I respect everyone in the chat. Because you guys didn't give me any reason to disrespect you, and you guys haven't disrespected me. So I think that the respect is mutual.
Sounds very Confucian of you, my friend, and I love that. I love that. And you definitely occupy a unique space on this corner of the internet, and that
Yeah.
you know
So,
your fluency in multiple languages lets you reach. No, truly, you're fluent in two vastly different languages, and it lets you reach two vastly different corners of the world, and it's nothing short of impressive, and it speaks to the values that you have. Real quick, Cyber Katie, thank you so much for the $25 tip. That's really kind of you. You never have to do that. It means the world to me. I think you also asked earlier when the next time. I can't remember if it was you or not. You asked when I will fight next. I'm thinking early next year, sometime like January 2025.
I just have to thank my parents because if my parents didn't want me to, I blame my parents for the way I am. I don't want to sound bad, but they wanted me and my sister to just explore the world, and here I am.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are way too nice.
Well,
I'm just Riota. I'm just Chiba. It's nothing different.
no. You made a lot of incredibly salient points. I think one of the more humbling things that you said among that too was how your perspective changed on things once you became a father. Uh, I couldn't agree more, man. Like, for me personally, I sobbed like a baby when my daughter was being born, and and since she's been here, it's applied an outsized pressure, or excuse me, an outside source of pressure,
Right. Yeah.
right? And it's like
So you
you
know how
really.
it is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Go ahead.
right? You know how it is, like that urge of like crap, like this is happening.
Completely, and like you said, it kind of drives home that now life is a legacy, right? Now life isn't just a game where you can do whatever the heck you want. Like, now when you fail, you're not merely failing yourself, you're failing your child. That
Right.
and
Right.
that's the worst thing. So for me, it brings out the best in me, and I could tell it definitely brings out the best in you as well, based on what you just said. And that's how I know you're a great father, and that's how I know you're an excellent fellow. A lot of people have been
It's
mentioning.
hard though.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's
It's
hard being a parent. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's definitely a huge responsibility. You're raising this little baby all the way until she turns like 20 something. So you don't want to lead her too narrow, but you also want to have her like make her own decisions too when she's at that age. Uh, so it's kind of hard to see. I mean, as a baby, even now, she kind of have she's a very quiet baby, which I love because she's a lot like me in terms of the way I was. Like she barely cries.
Hmm.
She's a very she might be shy when she gets older because even when she's awake, she barely says anything. And no, she's not autistic, or no, she's not a mute. But we could tell that she's gonna be a very shy girl. Um, and we don't want her to be too closed in. Um, so I kind of want my daughter's name is Rei, so Rei.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's beautiful.
we kind of want her to just when she gets old enough, like maybe when she turns maybe 13, if she wants to do the same thing I did, if she wants to go, whether we move back to America or if she decides to stay in Japan. But I think we're gonna have her stay here only because we feel that maybe that would be a better option.
Your audio was cutting out a bit there, but I understood what you said. You're basically saying that when she turns 13, giving her the option of like your entire family moving to America altogether for the opportunity to give her that 4-year experience that you had.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. That'll be a tough choice for her to make too. It's something I can't even relate to, but it's really incredible of you that you're thinking that far ahead. A number of people have mentioned it in the chat already. So it came out recently that I think just a few weeks ago that Dale was a deadbeat father to his daughter, and yeah, dude, I have zero respect for that. I can never understand.
Yeah. Maximal, he's been keeping me up to date.
Yeah.
And
I could never respect that, dude. I could never, absolutely never respect that. Like, that is just...
I feel so bad for that kid.
Agreed. A child needs its father. Straight up.
Yeah.
And I come from a single mother household, and my biological mother was deeply, deeply insane as a result of, a lot of what she was dealing with. And, like, I will never, ever have an ounce of respect or an ounce of understanding for anyone who can bring a life into this world and completely abandon it. That just... Dude, like, my daughter is the greatest blessing I've ever had. Like you were saying, once the kid is here, obviously it's tiring as hell, and I've quickly become addicted to energy drinks and stuff like that. But it's also easily been the happiest month of my life, too, as stressful as it is. And, Go ahead.
I think having that baby has been the best time of my life, even though it's tiring, but it gets easier.
I hear at the 3-month mark, that's when they start sleeping through the night and you can actually get some sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Quickly on LTG and his baby, did you hear the things he was saying about women in terms of him impregnating other girls, and how if he had a kid that he will like disown them and then he will shoot them or something at the footstep?
Yeah. Apparently he said like if his kid showed up at his door, he would shoot her. Like, that man is a disgusting, worthless man-child, dude. Holy crap.
My god.
And you know what else pisses me off? That idiot said something to the effect of, like, you had that child willingly without my consent. No, actually, you consented to having that child the moment you had sex. Unless you were raped, which, let's be honest, Dale, no one in their right mind would ever rape you. Actually, no one in their mind, period, would ever rape you. No, you consented to having that child. And this goes for everyone, even if you're gay or something. Like, you should never have sex with someone unless you are prepared for the possibility of having a child with that person. You know, like, we need to bear in mind how deeply important sex is spiritually to humans. Like, sex has always been tied to reproduction, and it's always been something that carries a lot of weight behind it. And all these people today, these worthless Dale Wilsons, etc., that just have sex with women and then act like it's not their fault that they got pregnant, ridiculous. Netsu Montero, thank you so much for the super chat. You said, glad you guys are fathers to your kids, unlike LTG. Also, I lost my mom this month, so I'm silently grieving and coping, but bigs up to both of you. Nedson, I'm so sorry, brother. I'm extremely sorry.
I'm sorry you lost your mom. Sorry, buddy.
extremely sorry to hear that. Yeah,
Sorry to hear that, though.
I can only hope that she lived a full and happy life and that you had a good relationship with her. Hopefully, I believe that death is not the end, and I believe that we will eventually see those whom our souls are bonded to again one day. But there's nothing I can truly say to take away the pain. I can only offer you a shoulder, and I really hope that you are able to find a new normal. Nothing will ever be the same again, and I'm sorry, but I hope you're able to find a new normal. Malik.
So it would never be easy losing a parent. I mean, luckily I still have my parents. But I think losing a parent will be so devastating. Um, but I believe that life will it will get easier for you, Netson. It will never get better, but it'll get easier.
Hood Hustler, thank you so.
Um,
Sorry, go ahead.
so how did you feel when you found out that your wife was pregnant? And were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you a little taken back? Were you like, holy crap? Like, tell me about your experience.
Absolutely. So Hood Hustler, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. He said, remember he had a rant about having a daughter. Yeah, it's a very sick one about how he would shoot her and whatnot. Yeah, so Chiba, I learned the night of October 27th going into the day of October 28th. Thank you, Cyber Katie. That, we would be having a baby, and it was easily the happiest. It was at that moment the happiest day of my life. I immediately got out and got a changing table off of Facebook Marketplace. Like within that weekend, actually, I had the nursery fleshed out. Like the baby wasn't even 3 months old in her womb, or excuse me, 3 days old in her womb, and I already had like a crib, a changing table, a dresser, and all that. Like I was extremely excited, extremely excited. And I'd say until my daughter was actually born, like that remained the happiest day of my life. Like I think one of the most humbling things was that my dog actually, Igor, my little Chihuahua, like he somehow knew my wife was pregnant before she was even testing positive. Like he knew.
Yeah, I did hear. I did hear about that phenomenon. They say that pets can sense when a person is pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say like cats and dogs. They can sometimes know.
Yeah. Dogs can the same. So yeah, like just how pregnancy tests work. Like with that preponderance of human growth hormone, like there's so many hormonal changes, and I'm not so sure about cats, but I know like some dogs can sense that really early.
Yeah, I thought that was just like a fairy tale. That's a real thing. Wow.
Yeah. um, and
Now this may be a personal question.
Go ahead.
Did you see? Was your wife a natural birth or was she C-section?
She was a natural birth. How about you?
Were you there for that
Oh
or?
yeah. Oh yeah. I was holding her hand and crying like a bitch as it happened. Like the moment I saw the baby's head poking out, like I broke. Like we actually have some video of it, and you just see me a blubbering mess. Meanwhile, my wife is like just being a superwoman, all stoic through it. Just doing the do, practically ejecting her out. And I'm crying like a little baby. But yeah.
I was there too, and I was there too. It's funny because on my way home, um, my wife, she like, you have to come to hospital right now,
Here's a banana
right
for
now.
you.
But
Banana.
anyway, so I go there,
Best
and
of luck.
long story short, I see my wife and all the doctors and everything else, and her cervix was just like so expanded. I was like, oh, go on. Like, oh my god, that's scary. That's scary. That's scary. And the doctor's like, calm down. It's gonna be okay. I didn't realize like big, how big or how stretchy the female genitals can really get until I saw it for myself, and it's so disgusting. But it's so beautiful too.
I agree completely. And I'm sorry. So did you say she was vaginal?
Yeah, my wife had a vegetable.
She had vaginal. Nice. Did she do the epidural?
That's the pen to numb it, right?
Yeah, that's the painkiller in your back. Basically, that helps.
She likely did. She likely did.
Yeah.
I
Jay,
know
thank.
that she was crying and yelling really loud.
Mhm. Jay, thank you so
Uh,
much for the 20 pound super chat. By the way, that's far too kind of you. Thank you very much. Um, but yeah, my wife, she went through like an entire day of labor, like trying to gut it out, and I was telling her like, dude, I am not gonna be disappointed if you get that epidural. Just do it. And like her blood pressure spiked, and she finally took it, and then things went a lot smoother from then. But
oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
It's a humbling experience that I think everyone should experience
Oh yeah.
if they have opportunity to. Just just being a dad overall, it just there's nothing better, nothing greater actually, than seeing this little this little baby grow and mature by the day.
Yes.
As adults, right, we forget that how fast you grow, but when you have a baby, is literally growing by the minute, by the second.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fingers are getting longer, the head is getting bigger. The foot's getting bigger. Like this baby is literally growing like a tree. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I think that's what makes it even more beautiful too. But I think what makes it even greater is
Congrats on the
that
kid.
these two humans,
Life-changing
me and
experience, I bet.
my wife, we came together, we made this baby, and we're like, is that the real emo?
Yeah.
Ah,
Emo, thank you so much.
emo time,
Emo, Emo-san, thank you so much for the $20 super chat.
emo
Emo,
time.
thank you so
That's
much.
Rudy. That's your.
Oh yeah, that's him. That he's got the mod wrench, so you know that's him. Uh, that's way too
Emo.
kind of you. And yeah, man, it is absolutely life changing. It's world changing,
It's like
honestly. What Chiba was just saying, like the way they change every day, the way they grow every day, it's so humbling, and it's like you enter a whole new world. And in terms of the birth itself, I don't know how it was for you, Chiba, but like the way I would describe the magic of the birth itself was like imagine if someone spawned in front of you in real life. Like that's how magical birth was to me. And like imagine if someone just magically appeared in real life. That's basically what birth was to me. The moment her head started poking out, I was like, holy crap. And then compound that magic with the fact that she's your daughter, she's your blood, she's half you and half the woman you love. It's utterly incredible. So once again, Emil, thank you so much for $20 super chat. So happy to see you kicking ass. I think Emil is riding that train to six figures on his restreams, and it's absolutely driving Dale up a wall, and that's incredibly satisfying to see.
Paulo. Emo is single-handedly tearing Dell apart. Emo is like Goki and Ryu. They constantly have this battle going on all the time. Except that Emo always wins.
Yeah, it's more like Goku and Vegeta because Vegeta just can never
Like
never
Goku
get
and
that.
Vegeta. It's like Goku will always beat Vegeta. Yeah, Emo really, really is. And the worst part is he don't even have to say anything. Emo just does it without doing anything, if that makes sense. So Emo is just streaming. that's that's the best that it can get.
121K. What's that a reference to? I know I should know that. I think
Man.
your goal should be $1.981 million. Um, Fort Worth. Yeah. So Fort Worth race said being a girl dad is fun despite what Dale says. I couldn't agree more. Like I won't lie. I wanted a son, and my wife wanted a son too. But like just the fact that you have a healthy baby is just a massive blessing in and of itself. And so many people aren't blessed with having a healthy baby, and like
Right.
we definitely intend to have more. Do you intend to have more in the future, Ryota? Do you intend to have more kids?
Uh
Sounds like a something you've been thinking about a lot. Then a bit of a tough question.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, he wants to have one more, but I want to make sure.
I'm sorry, you cut off. You said you want to make sure. We might have lost.
See, I'm 33, so
Okay,
I'm 33.
Mhm.
I do decide to have another kid. It'll probably be when I'm 40, maybe.
Wow. Well, you would wait 7 years. May I ask why?
Yeah. She wants to have another one as soon as she turns 3, but
Mhm.
I'm not too sure.
May I ask
So
what's the reasoning?
so now when we have sex, I just use condoms, but I'm not. I don't want to make. I want to say a mistake, but I just want to keep this plan and set before another one coming out.
That's totally fair. May I ask what the reason is behind that plan? Like why 7 years from now as opposed to 3 years from now?
Just so we can get Ray established.
Mm.
When she comes to maybe a teenager or something, she probably 8 years old. I'm not doing the math correctly, but I just want to make sure that she's okay first before we pop out another one. To be honest, if I can be 100% honest,
Mhm.
I wouldn't want another kid. Having Ray is good enough for me.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's something that we've discussed. We would have to really sit down and discuss it a little bit more thoroughly.
For sure. For sure. It makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
Because having one kid is enough is a lot of money, and then you have another kid that's another lot of money, and then another kid that's a lot of money.
Mm.
So,
So that's something I wanted to discuss with you too. When you say a kid is a lot of money, like where do you feel the expenses are coming from on your end in terms of a lot of money? Like, do you feel it's like clothes, food?
well, here. I'm the guy who makes the money in my household
Of course.
because my wife stays at home and she does everything.
Yep.
So I have to buy for the clothing, the milk. Well, my wife is also breastfeeding.
Yes. Same.
The food, um, the checkups. You have to do a lot of checkups for babies.
Mhm.
Sometimes.
I see.
Um,
Fort
I
Worth.
guess.
Sorry to cut you off. Fort Worth Ray said, he was talking about, you wanting your kid to be at least 7 before you thought about having another one. He was saying it's too late for me. Our kid is 12 and I'm 36. I want to turn her into a babysitter. No, that's great, man. You just employ the kid. Put that kid to work for you. That's the great thing about them getting older. They can start to contribute. It's a cool.
They'll be taking care of me when I'm 80 years old.
Exactly. That's why you have kids, baby. So that you get that hired help for free. Subtract 3, it's expensive, but again, it all depends on both of your incomes. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, I hear you. Uh, yeah. Right now, we're breastfeeding entirely. I'm sure food expenses will go up once our daughter gets older. I do. I think I definitely want. We definitely want to have more. Like I said, I want my son. Damn it, I want to keep going until I get my boy, get my heir. And I'm even thinking about maybe one day, when my wife, when my wife's body gives out or what have you, and she can't produce kids anymore, like maybe I'll look into adoption. We'll look into adoption together too. She's very open to that.
Because you also got to remember that women you go into that menopause stage like around the 40s, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a short
So
window.
I might have to lower my years down a bit.
Right.
That's my wife is she's 2 years older than me. My wife is 35 and I'm 33. So
beautiful.
maybe okay, you know what? Maybe a year from now we can maybe talk about having another girl because I wouldn't mind having a son, but having a little guy that looks like me would be kind of weird. It'd be like looking at Toon Link and then looking at Adult Link, and it's like, hey, you got my face. Like
That's
Zelda, Ocarina of Time. You know how you have the Toon Link and you have the Kid Link, and then you know.
Oh yeah.
Like my dad, for example, he wanted two girls, but it turned out that I was the firstborn. I'm older than my sister by 3 years because I was born in 1990.
Hmm.
My sister was born in 93. So my dad said, I wanted you to be a girl, but you were a boy. And then they had another kid and it turned out my sister. So they were both happy. So it worked out, I guess.
To answer your question, well, yes, it is true. It's been proven with court records that he pays child support. Um, but that's I hear what you're saying, Riota. It's funny. Right now, my daughter looks completely like my wife and nothing like me.
Yeah,
So
right.
hopefully the boys will look more like me. We'll see. We'll see. But I hear what you're saying. I wouldn't mind having a little Toon Link version of me running around. Get to give him.
I don't know, it'd be kind of weird. You just see a little Riota just running around like Goten and Goku.
I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what he said. My dad literally said, "I want to use the be a girl."
That's
And
crazy. Yeah, I would have expected the opposite. I would have expected him to want your sister to be a son. Said someone
yeah.
wrote, it's much harder to raise a son these days. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, I can see
I
that.
think it's harder to raise any type of gender. You just have to do your best at it.
Hmm. Each one definitely brings their own challenges for sure. Um, I hear it's easier like women. Excuse me, the little girls are easier earlier in life, and the little boys are easier comparatively like later in life. Like I don't know, but I think every kid is different. Every kid is different, so you can only hope to.
I just,
Go ahead.
I just think that it's really, really. I don't know. Just you can't describe it. What it's like being a parent, because it's kind of hard to describe being a parent. You kind of have to do it to be a parent.
Hmm.
You kind of have to, um, like you can describe what it's like being a dad, but for you to really, really grasp the fundamentals of being a parent, the idea, you just kind of have to just become a parent so you can fully understand.
I agree completely. You can read all about it in advance, and I did. Like I have read multiple textbooks, but nothing will prepare. Nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
so one of your comments, they said, how has Japan taken the news of Toriyama passing?
Hmm.
Japan took it really hard, actually. I was crying. Um, we had like a little ceremony of sorts at the Shibuya Sega station.
Right where he was shot.
Um, like Toriyama-san, he was really, really, really very inspirational
Please, the
to
creator.
Japan
Grand style,
and
nothing but
the
boy
world.
sperm and it's testicular.
Um, that shocked a lot of people. That took everybody off guard. Um, Toriyama's passing was definitely heartache for a lot of people, and Japan definitely felt that. Yeah, I cried too, Matt.
I'm 41. Thank you so much for $10 super chat. You said grant me nothing but boy sperm. I hope so. I hope so. But maybe the wife's vaginal culture kills all the boy sperm. Who knows? Uh, yeah. It almost feels like to me like more people in Japan were affected by the passing of Toriyama than they were by the assassination of Shinzo Abe, which was really interesting.
Like, and isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I said that to my coworker too. I was like, it's weird how everyone is more affected by Toriyama-san and not, the minister.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
It's funny how you knew that. You're not even Japanese. It's almost like you knew that.
I, uh, I'm trying my best to actually pick up a rudimentary understanding of the Japanese language. So I've been like having my Twitter feed in Japanese to try to learn it once I can get the
You're
time.
trying to learn Japanese.
Yeah.
I
So
I can teach you. It's not. Um, it's hard if you make it hard. Japanese is. I don't know. Like fundamentally. I guess I don't know. I've been speaking Japanese since I was a kid, so
Yeah,
English was hard for me, to be honest.
and that's what they say
But
that like Japanese and English are so disparate that it's easier for someone who knows Spanish to learn each one fluently. And I think there's a lot of
oh yeah,
reasons for that. You know, like the yeah. I think there's that whole subject verb object orientation being opposite in Japan.
yeah. The our sense instructor, yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
our because the Japanese how we speak. I guess you could say we talk backwards, but I guess because we put the verb last
Hmm.
when we speak.
Hmm.
We don't put the verb first. So you know how, for example, if you say like I'm going to eat a pizza, like the pizza you already said, like I'm going to eat pizza.
Yeah. Piso
In Japan, we will
tabemasho.
say pizza I'm going to eat or pizza I eat. So it's pizza o taberu
Oh, taberu. Oh,
or
okay.
ringo o taberu
Gotcha.
or um mizu wo nomu. So
Hmm.
I drink water.
Hmm.
You know, it's once you get the fundamental of Japanese down, you'll be so good at it. There's moments where because again, I'm a police officer in Japan,
Hmm.
and there's people like tourists, and they have really good fundamental Japanese that they can come to me and say, "Hey, excuse me, do you know where this is? Can I get to here?" And it's really good, even though it's like choppy,
Of course.
like "Eki doko, eki doko desu ka?"
Hmm.
Oh, station
Where's
is
the
over
train
there.
station? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I appoint them in that direction. It's just all about. I think with Japan is that um as a nation we love when you try to make an attempt to learn it, and
Hmm.
then when you make an attempt to learn and speak it, you will get better and better and better. And Japan is so much about immersion. So because you have a bunch of Japanese people that's always speaking Japanese,
Hmm.
it can actually help you. Oh, it's like mizu o nomimasu. Right.
Right.
So water I drink. That's what he said there.
Hmm.
Mizu o nomimasu. Nomimasu. 私は鬼の伝説.
That sounds like some broken Google translated shit right there, Matt.
Yeah. So,
So,
but I can teach you some Japanese. It's not that. I can definitely take some. I can make some courses for you,
oh no,
and
you don't
then
have to do all that. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. Like you don't have to go out of your way for me. I would feel bad making you do all that. But thank you. That's really nice of you. But in America, like in the U.S. military, for example, there's programs wherein there's financial incentive to learn what are identified as strategic languages that like they don't have enough speakers of. For example, Arabic is always a strategic language. So like if you know Arabic and you're in the U.S. military, you take a test and you basically get paid more money every month. And Japanese is actually one of those languages. So I'm actually trying to learn it for
I
that.
didn't know that. So the military is requiring Americans to know foreign language.
Not requiring it, but financially incentivizing it. Um, and it all depends on like how many people they already have that know that language. So like for example, Chinese, even though it's a difficult language compared to, or at least for an English speaker, we have so many Mandarin speakers that it's not a strategic language, so they don't give you money for knowing that language. But there's so few uh, fluent in Japanese in the military that you get a little bit of money if you know Japanese and take the test. And I think that's a goal I'd like to hit one day.
And you were in what branch?
Air Force.
Oh, you were Air Force.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my good friends, she was the Air Force and she's stationed out here. I mean, she was stationed. Well, she wasn't stationed out here, but she dated some Japanese guy that lives out here, and that's pretty cool.
Beautiful, beautiful. I hear. Well, no, I won't get into it. But I hear it's the Marines that really give us a bad rep in Japan.
Well, before I was in the army,
Oh yeah.
because they had a base in Okinawa. I think that's that's not even a base in Okinawa anymore. Kyoto. It's Okinawa. Could be Okinawa. Sometimes you can see a lot of people in uniform at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell the uniforms apart. I don't know what uniform they are.
A lot of the branches have the same one now too, and it's just the name tapes that are different. So, yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell at a distance. Silo, do you intend to have your daughter be fluent in both Japanese and English as well?
Yes, I do.
Good stuff.
And that's one thing that me and my wife agreed on is we want her to be fluent in English, and my wife only speaks Japanese.
Mm.
I speak English and Japanese. I don't know a lick of Korean.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when people come to me, apparently I look Korean. I don't look Korean. But we agreed to have her learn Japanese and English. If she decides to learn Korean, that would be too much. But we kind of want to have her at 2 languages for now.
I'm surprised that people are saying you look Korean. You don't look Korean to me.
You should see my YouTube comments sometimes. Funny thing is, one of my videos, right? One guy said, "Why are you lying? You are not Japanese. You are Korean. Don't be ashamed to be Korean." I'm like, I'm not Korean.
That's funny.
Why am I lie about being Korean? I mean, maybe I am Korean. Maybe I have I don't know. Maybe Koreans can tell you Koreans from Japanese and everyone else apart. But
Yeah, it's always funny to me when people I don't know. There's a lot of Americans who like can't differentiate between the Asian races. But me, I went to a high school that was like 80% ABC, American-born Chinese. So like I've always been able to tell like who's Chinese, who's Korean, who's Japanese at a glance. So it's always funny to me.
I should have a question because in my part of view, I don't think we all look the same. Like I can tell a Chinese from a Korean to a Japanese because us Japanese we have very distinctive details. Koreans, I believe that they have very distinctive details.
They do.
And Chinese they have their own. So, and I'm not gonna be offended, but can you guys really not tell the difference between Korean, Japanese, and Chinese?
I personally definitely can, but I think like the average American who like grew up in the Midwest where there's not many East Asian, where there's not many Oriental people overall, I guess maybe they can't just because they don't even know what the difference between Japan and Korea is because they're in some landlocked Kansas bumfuck nowhere state. But no, like having grown up in New York City, no, it's very easy for me to tell at a glance.
Okay.
People don't realize.
Because I never understood that logic. Like, how can someone just immediately say that, that person's Chinese? Well, that person can be like, Korean. Sometimes you can't tell.
Yeah, it's
like
Go ahead.
When I first met my wife, I thought that she was full Japanese, but turns out she was freaking half. So I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because Japanese, we have very, very high cheeks. Like our cheekbones,
That's true.
Is very high, and it's very pronounced.
That's true.
Koreans, they have really, I don't want to sound like a racist, but they have bowl heads. So their heads are like bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a circle. They have circle heads.
Yeah.
So
top.
that's how I can tell. That's how I could tell a Korean from a Japanese.
You're absolutely, and that's not racist at all to notice simple phenotypical patterns. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So,
like
and Chinese, they have really sharp chins. So.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like so I actually, because I didn't know my father growing up, like I didn't know what race I was until I took a DNA test and discovered that I was mostly Italian. But my wife, she was like, "No, I knew you were Italian right away from your nose. Like you had the." She was always like, "Oh, you got the perfect Italian nose." So, and she was spot on about it. So, it's funny, but I mean,
it's like little details, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the little inner details.
You said Warfarer said he think there's plenty of Americans who probably think Japan is a province in China. That's funny. Yeah, that reminds me of like we have a show called King of the Hill over here where the guy's just like where he meets his neighbor from Laos, and he goes, "Are you
Is that
Chinese or
the
Japanese?"
animation TV show, the King of the Hill show?
Yeah, and he goes,
I've seen little YouTube clips of that. Yeah,
"Hilarious show."
I've seen clips of King of the Hill. That's actually a good cartoon.
Yeah, yeah, it honestly is a decent little commentary, but yeah, that's how it is for a lot of like landlocked Midwest South Americans who like
I
don't
mean,
get to the coast.
I would
like
be the
that.
first to say I love America. I really do. I think America is, and this is coming from a guy who really loves Japan. I think America is one of the greater countries in the world. From the diversity to the money to making giving people opportunities. America really is a good country, and you guys should be proud to be American, even regardless of what's going on. Like when I heard that Donald Trump almost got freaking assassinated, everyone here was going nuts. Like, what the heck?
Yeah,
He almost got killed. Donald Trump? Because there are some Japanese here who like Donald Trump,
hmm
and there are some people here who likes Biden. So
it it's absolutely insane. I mean, we were honestly literal millimeters away from the 45th president's head being exploded live on camera, and that's utterly insane.
I would have been back.
Yeah. I saw some memes too that made me smile. Like they were saying, Donald Trump knew to turn his head right away because he saw the ghost of Shinzo Abe telling him, saving his life. Yeah. No,
Probably. Abe-san saved his life.
yeah. I know they love to golf together. They had a cute little relationship when they were both the heads of their country. So, but yeah, Fort Worth, it's insane. I will say, man, his reaction to being shot, though, like the fact that he immediately gets up and starts pumping his fist, like that's something you can't teach. Like even if you hate Trump, you gotta admit that that's a fucking badass reaction to getting shot. Like this, when you get shot, that's when that's one of the true times when you're gonna have a fight or flight reaction, and that's just going to be instinctive in you. And his reaction was all fight. I mean, obviously you can't fist fight someone shooting you, but he was just like, come shoot me again. And I think he's gonna be in good shape to actually retake the presidency. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that that symbolized the strength of America. You know, I think that when Donald Trump put his fist in the air, kind of symbolized that the strength and the love for America will always be that. It's just the strength. You know,
I agree.
I think that's cool. Again, I love America. I think I'm America's biggest fan. I love America. I love everything of America.
Oh, Ragnarok says he thought.
Ragnarok, I used to live in America, Ragnarok, but I live in Japan permanently now.
Yeah, I had no idea that he had spent
He
the.
said Japan is better because they had the giant Gundam. Actually, they took the giant Gundam down. It's not there no more.
Oh, really? Why they do that?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, no. Japan has some awesome. You streaming that Dead Eat tonight? Dead Eat? I don't know. Oh, Deadbeat. I see what you're trying to say. Yeah. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens in America's election cycle. I mean, we're only like 100 days away from our election, and now, just last week, obviously, President Biden announced that he would not seek a second term, and said he's endorsing Kamala Harris as vice president. So it's going to be a really chaotic next 100 days. Hopefully, you guys not in America, such as you, Riota, are able to more enjoy it from the sidelines and kind of enjoy watching the fire burn. But I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping for no bloodshed.
Actually,
Shit show, you said.
what I think America should do is elect one president until they move. I mean, until they pass away, and then elect another one. That's how Japan does it.
So you don't believe
So
in
one person-
two-term limits?
I don't think it's a good idea. because rules will have to be changed all the time. But I think America should implement that in their presidency. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we went the opposite direction after Roosevelt in World War II. Had 4 terms in a row, which like there was no rule against it. But previously it was always like an honored unspoken rule that the president wouldn't rule more than 2 terms in a row. And so after Roosevelt had his 4 terms in a row, that's when they passed the amendment to formalize that rule. But I don't know. It's really interesting because, in my opinion, the president really is not supposed to be uh, like the ruler of America, right? Congress is supposed to be the legislative branch. Congress is supposed to make the law. The president is supposed to just be the executive branch. The president is supposed to just execute the law and approve or veto the law, for example. But these days, like I'd say in the last 30 years, the president has kind of become a 4-year king where he just uses executive orders to make whatever the heck he wants happen. And it's not what our founding fathers envisioned, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think they should do that. Something similar to just keeping one president for a term until they what's that called? It's something new or until they pass away.
That's right. Radamrat says, Chiba, when you see all the BS that goes on in the U.S., like school shootings, clown politics, and celebrity BS, how does the Japan Republic react to it?
Ignorant to it. They be saying some messed up stuff about America.
Salad reciting his civics knowledge that he learned in the military. No, not even, man. Not even. Not even in the military. Honestly, most military people are kind of ignorant about it, too.
I just want to say something.
Go
You
ahead.
guys heard half stuff that Japanese natives say about America? It would make your stomach turn.
Oh, you mean like,
Some of them. Excuse me. Some of them. Some Japanese people are freaking stupid. So, when people say that school shootings, some Japanese people could say, "Ha ha ha! What happened to their security? Stupid," you know.
I see.
Hey, America, the land of the free, but they're too cheap to buy security. Like little comments like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
It's tough whenever that happens. I think the reason that's become a phenomenon is because they go to schools to do their shootings because they know there's no one there to fight back. So I do agree with you that security definitely has to change. I mean, I'm honestly hoping to homeschool my daughter for as long as possible. We're hoping
Oh, you want to homeschool?
Yeah.
It's funny because I spoke to my wife about that today.
Mm-hmm.
The Japanese do have homeschool programs.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about that too. But then again, I kind of want her to make some friends, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the difficult part, socialization when they're homeschooled. I mean,
like, hey, I'm sorry, Salazar.
Go ahead.
Party, yeah, it's some Japanese people. I'm not saying all the people, but some people like laugh at America about the way certain things are handled. Like again, like you can't tell America to order security for schools, and then laugh, say, "I thought they were the land of the free. Where's their security?" Ha 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 ha.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of ignorant and insensitive to say, because what if that was your cousin that was in that school that got killed?
Exactly.
Or what if that was your cousin that was living in America that got killed? The amount of stuff I hear, because again, I'm a cop, and sometimes I like to. Well, I can't do it no more because I'm a dad, but I used to go to the bar, and I used to hear so many older Japanese guys just trash America. And it used to be so bad that I would have to step in and be like, because it affects me because, yeah, I'm not full American, but I have a sister who lives there.
Right.
Okay? And I live there, so I have a lot of respect for America. And I stick up for America. So I was like, watch your mouth, man. America is not the way you think it is. You never even, all you know is Japan. You don't know America.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Very well said, Chiba.
So, Yeah, some people look at America like laughing stocks.
Yeah, some people don't exercise empathy until it actually hits close enough to home. Like at the end of the day, those are still children losing their lives regardless. Like for example, with the Trump shooting that we were just talking about, a firefighter named Corey Comparatori did die, and you have these worthless content creators like just eternal man children like Destiny, who is one of Dale's friends, or better known as Stephen Bonnell. He's just this worthless far left guy, and he's grave dancing on the fact that this firefighter lost his life to a murderer, simply because that firefighter happened to be a Trump supporter. And the lack of empathy that some people have simply blows me away.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I think
an empathy isn't hard to give.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like you merely need to imagine what it would be like if that victim were someone you knew. Like when all these men talk about women like they're objects. Like imagine if that were your mother or your daughter. I don't know. I just think that there are so many people that are perhaps growing up and spending their entire lives behind computer screens and perhaps not getting punched in the face enough, honestly, for some of the things that they say and do, such as Destiny, Stephen Bonnell, and I think that's a societal problem that's definitely prevalent in the West, and it sounds like it's a bit of a problem in Japan as well, based on what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed it always comes from the older Japanese men who are unhappy or who think they know it all, and they will always have something to say. I just want to say that people put Japan on this pedestal, and it's really not this glorified country as people make it out to be.
Otakus, right?
There's a lot of Japanese people that are xenophobic. There's a lot of Japanese people that are racist. There are a lot of Japanese people that are that just don't want people coming here. And it's like the weeables. So if you're a weeable and go to Japan, you can you're a weeable and you go to Japan speaking really terrible anime Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, you're going to be made fun of. Take the time out to learn some real Japanese. All that Sasuke stuff and Dragon Ball stuff, Naruto stuff, it's not real Japanese. And when you come to Japan and you start speaking that way, yeah, they're gonna look at you like you have 5 heads, because that's not really a good idea how we speak naturally.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna come off really, really sounding weird.
Agreed. And I think America does a poor job, unfortunately, of giving kids a second language. That's definitely something I want to instill in my kid. That's the second reason, the money reason I already told you about. But the second reason that I want to learn a bit more about Japanese is so that my kid can have exposure to a second language. And I'm already decently fluent in Spanish, and my wife is learning Spanish too, so we're hopefully going to get that in her.
Oh, you know Spanish?
Oh, yeah.
I actually want to learn Spanish. Spanish, that's a romance language, and I hear Spanish is actually really, really freaking good to learn too.
It is, and I think based on how fluent you are in both Japanese and English, like, I think you would have a really easy breezy time picking it up, Riota. I really do.
I don't know, my brain is getting older, so it'd be kind of hard to learn a new language.
Hey, I know how it is. Believe me, you and I are about the same age, so I get it completely. But no, dude, like I meet like these 70-year-old, 80-year-old retirees from the military, who like, and they're picking up new languages, just as a hobby, like with their wife. Like I met some 80-year-old white guy at a military dinner actually the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, my wife and I were learning Mandarin, and we just started." And I think, although we don't have that blessed neuroplasticity that kids like your 8-month-old daughter right now has, you're not a fossil, and you're a very sharp guy. I think you'd find it easy. What did Maximus say?
I don't know, Spanish, like, I think it has a lot of, like, English. The reason why it was so hard for me to learn English too, because English has a lot of English is very gender specific.
Mm.
And it has a lot of conjugations too. So I can talk to like for example, like Japanese people is not really gender specific. It's not really gender specific because if I'm talking to you, I would be like talking to a girl. If that makes sense. So I don't have to say kare or kare means he. I don't have to. I don't have to say Salo. He did this. It's already clear who I'm talking to. Or if I'm talking to someone like Maximal, I can be like, "Did you hear what Salo Don said to me today?" And then Maximals would go, "No, what did he say?" Then I would go, "He." I don't have to say that he or she or XYZ because it's already established who I'm talking to first. Spanish is like that. Spanish has a little bit of English conjugations. So I can talk to a Spanish girl and then talk to a Spanish guy the same way. Like English, I can't talk to a girl and then talk to I can go to a guy you say and say anything that's like that's masculine to a female.
Mm-hmm.
In Japanese, you can talk to anybody any kind of way. If that makes sense. Not really, but...
No, it actually
really?
makes perfect sense. What you said, the converse of what you said is actually the reason that English is like the lingua franca for airliners, and like why it's like international law that airliners have to speak in English, because there was on the counterpoint of what you just said, like because it's not clear like who the subject is in Japan, because it's just understood and kind of presumed, and also because of how Japanese is more indirect than English. Like, for example, you don't know if someone is saying a question or something until the end of the sentence where they add that ka at the end, right? Because of that, there was an incident with a Japanese airliner where like the Japanese pilot he was flying way too close to the ground, and his stewards were trying to tell him that, but like they were being too polite and too indirect about it, and that airliner wound up crashing. And that's why like they made it a law that you have to speak English, simply because it's you know a less contextual language. So,
right. Yeah. And Japanese. We don't have the context is already explained the moment you begin talking. So if you and I are speaking Japanese, and I say, "Hello, what's going on, man? How are you?" I no longer have to say your name anymore. I no longer have to say, "Sal, you want to go out for a drink? Sal, you want to go to play some video games? Want to go for a golf match?" It's already there. So if I go, "Taro-san, konnichiwa. Nani o shiteru ka?" Nani? Restaurant ikitai. Then we just go to the restaurant. It's not really going like, okay, we're gonna go here. It's not going, "So, Riota, we're gonna go here. Riota, you wanna go play some game? Riota, you wanna go for a golf club?" It's already explained. You don't really have to say he, she,
mm-hmm.
or they, or them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are only brought up in specific conversations if you're explaining something to someone. So if I say, for example, my girlfriend is sleeping, I would have to say, "Kanojo wa nemui."
Mm-hmm.
Like, my girlfriend is sleeping, and that's it. So now, then you will say, "Well, I hope she's sleeping good," and then it goes on from there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say, "Well, she's sleeping good," or "they're sleeping good," or "it's sleeping good." It's already, like, that's where I think a lot of people fail at learning Japanese, because they try to take what they know in English and they try to translate that into Japanese. And to be honest, there's not a lot of Japanese and English correlation. That's why when it comes down to a lot of translations, when people translate Japanese, it's literally this is not word for word, because how Japanese speak and how English speak and how it's translated is completely different. So that's why I had to learn how to block Japanese out of my mind when I was learning. And still, when I speak now, I try not to go into Japanese because I would end up sounding off or backwards or weird. So I have to use my brain as I speak in English so I can sound as clear as possible. If you keep going, uh, you know, if you keep trying to translate those, I mean, if you're trying to keep using those same words in English and try to put that in Japanese, it's going to sound so off and so weird that you're really not going to get a fundamental of Japanese language. And I'm pretty sure it's like that for English. I mean, for Spanish too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only people I think I would have a better chance at learning Korean than Spanish because Korean language and Japanese language are literally similar. We have the same rules. We have the same pattern. I personally, and this is no offense to Koreans, I just don't care to learn Korean because I don't need to learn Korean.
Yeah. There's only
I'm never
75
gonna go to
million.
Korean. Huh?
In terms of sheer population, yeah, like there's only 25 million North Koreans and about 50 million South Koreans. So like,
Yeah. Right. I just don't need to learn Korean, so I don't really need to study.
Gene
If I
Starlin.
wanted to learn Korean, and I can learn Korean off the sake of my girlfriend's family. But other than that, I really don't have no interest in learning Korean.
And you already won her heart. You know, you already have her heart linked to yours, so you don't need to romance her anymore. You know, you'd only be doing that if you were trying to really tighten that knot on her, but you got her wrapped up, so you're good. Gene Starwin, thank you so much for becoming a member, brother. Who was saying, thank you so much, brother Contreras, for showing love from the Bronx. You know, being from New York City myself, I miss a good portion of it sometimes, and
I'm just tuning, but I appreciate the shout out from both of you fine gents who were both huge inspirations on me. If not for both of you, there would be no Shang Chung.
You get that?
Respect.
did you see what Shang Tsung just
Shang
said, brother?
Tsung.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you so much, Shang Tsung, for the $10 super chat, and even more so for the kind words. It makes
very
me
kind words.
Yeah, it makes me incredibly happy to see you doing well, and I hope you keep doing well. Honestly, you're part of the reason why I want to fight again on Street Beef's West Coast, because I want to give you a good proper shout out. I realized like after the fight that I didn't properly mention you, who gave me that damn jersey. So I gotta give you a little redux, and I gotta shout you out properly on the West Coast.
His videos are just so well calculated, and every bullet point that he makes in his video, it's a sting. It stings. Everything that he makes in that video is a stinger, and I think that's what gets everybody glued into his content. And I think that's what makes people tune in every time, because when Shang Tsung drops a video, every bullet point stings, and everyone feels it, even if it's not even if it's not what I say against you, but you could feel the point being made, and you could feel the validation of backup and proof and receipts.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I learned about this community when I was in it was people need to see receipts. People need to see the backup.
Yes.
And if you don't have backup, or if you don't have receipts, you're going to get... Now, let me say something real quick, because I have something to get off my chest.
Go ahead.
When low tier got first, like when I first came into a scene, okay, I did say N-word to LTG because he called me a rice eater.
Mm-hmm.
So I did say N-word. I said the N-word to him, and then, he didn't like it too much. So he tried to expose me. This is like way back in 2017 or 2016.
I remember. I think it was even older than that. I think this was almost 10 years ago now, because I remember that he posted it on Facebook.
Yeah. He posted it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. I didn't care, and I didn't freak out. Why? Because people who's been in my community know that I'm not racist, and I wasn't being derogatory towards the black community. He said something to me that was racist, and I should have been a little bit more smart enough to not stoop that low to try to hurt him the way he hurt me.
Yeah.
But I didn't go out calling everyone the N-word. but I did call him, you know.
10 years ago, you were only 23, and you were a lot hot, young, and stupid back then. No offense to you whatsoever, but you know, like you let him, you know, you like you just said, you stoop to his level, and it can be hard to resist the pull of that, right? Like when you're arguing with someone who's a piece of crap, like it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to resist it. Resist like stooping to their level. Like when someone punches you for no reason, like you want to punch them back, and it's hard to be that messianic figure that turns the other cheek, especially when you're young. I think obviously you're 33 now, and you've regretted it, so, and you've apologized for it publicly multiple times, so, and that's really all you can do, and obviously God bless you for it. Said Imo's got.
I just wanted to put that into light because some people, like some LTG supporters, try to use that against me. Like every now and then, I get a couple trolls on YouTube saying, "Hey, I see you stop making LTG videos. Why are you scared? Because he called you a chink or a gunk. Yeah, don't forget that. We don't forget that you call him N-word." And I just delete the comments. I don't want to see that stuff.
Yeah, there's no point in letting your detractors. Constantly link you into that cycle. Honestly, Will, I see you in the chat. I feel like that's something a lot of people did to you in your comments. That I know you. I know you don't like it when I speak on your situation without giving the full context. But in my opinion, like what I saw a lot was like people would bait you in your comments really easily, and that's what they try to do to Chiba. That's why they try to do to me. And a lot of the times, these guys are really just one person on multiple accounts. Like for example, with the Street Beefs garbage, with the fight between me and Ray. Like, Ray made 1 million YouTube accounts and 1 million Twitter accounts to act like he had an entire posse, you know, saying that he won the fight. And it's just like, what are you doing, dude? If you had put that much effort into kicking my ass, you could have won the fight. Instead, you want to put all this effort after the fact? Like, what are you doing with your life, you drunk idiot? I don't know. God bless him. But you got to remember, it's so easy to make a fake YouTube account, and it's so easy...
Yeah.
You know, for these guys to do that shit. Like, I think...
I don't...
Go ahead.
I don't fall for the bait either, you know, so you're absolutely right, Salo.
Yeah. Yeah, you just gotta ignore them and move on. And remember that a lot of the times it's someone like Ray or Zeke Erskine or one of these guys that just spend their lives making 1 million fake accounts, trying to pretend that there are multiple people to try to gaslight you into thinking that the situation is different than it is. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Right. And again, I'm just happy that we have, if this makes sense, like a whole new generation of LTG detractors coming up. You know, like before it was myself, yourself, Anonymous, Low Tier Archives. You know, now you have guys like Shang Tsung, Emo, Chelka, Joshua Cornstar. Like those guys have really just like upped the exposure of the piece of shit that Del Wilson is. And that's why I said earlier, like I feel like people keep asking me to make LTG videos again. I'm like, I don't have to because everything's already being said. You know, so I don't have to do those content anymore because it's already being how can I say? It's already out there now and better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's even better. Like there's Shang Tsung when he makes his videos, everyone is shaking out of anxiety because like what information does he have now about LTG? You have Emo who doesn't have to say anything but just restreams, and that gets LTG blood boiling. And then you have Chelka and Joshua Cornstar already exposing him, so it's like it's great. You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Right?
Yeah, no. Like Shang Tsung, who was in here earlier. Whenever you look at the comments of your videos, if you notice, the only people who, you know, basically, I want to say fight back for want of better words, or the only people who attempt to refute his video are not actually bringing up salient points. They're just kind of digging their heels in and getting more defensive. And there's a phenomenon where, like, when people have a very harshly held preconceived notion, if you show them evidence to the contrary, they tend to believe their preconceived notion even harder. And like, so some people just can't be convinced, and you have to remember that too. That's the other side of these YouTube comments. Like, you know, you like you said earlier, Chiba, you are never going to be able to please everyone, so you might as well give up on trying to do that and just do what you want to do, and put an honest heart into it, and what happens happens.
I'm just watching by and watching this guy fail because I I don't even, and as a father, and I can speak for both of us being dads, he would never have my respect for abandoning his daughter like that. To really just not take up the responsibility of raising your daughter. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy that people are exposing him. I'm happy that people are bringing things to light. I don't have to do anything but sit back with my legs folded and watch his life burn down to charcoal.
Precisely.
And I think he deserves that. And I don't want to sound like a cold person. I don't want to sound cold person. Dell Wilson deserves everything cold coming his way. And I feel, and I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. But I really do feel that he deserves every single part of this bad karma coming onto him. Now, I don't want him to kill himself. That's a pretty stretch. I don't want him to kill himself, but maybe this should be a wake-up call for him to get better and be a better person.
Hey, if he does, I'll carry one corner of it. That's all I'm saying. I'll carry one corner of his casket.
You know?
But
email, keep doing what you're doing. I'm a big fan of your email. Keep doing what you're doing, dude. I'm sorry that I don't come to your streams as much, but
hey, you're a dad. You're a daddy.
Yeah. I don't even game as much anymore.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, I bought the Elder Ring DLC, and I haven't even started yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought got back on Tekken 8 so I can face Grey Raven. But me and Raven hasn't had a time to play Tekken 8 yet. But I don't even game anymore. I patrol the streets of Tokyo for 12 hours a day. I come home, I take care of my baby, and I go back to bed, and I do it all over again.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm just tired. I don't even have time to make my YouTube channel count anymore.
God bless you, man. And I hope you stay safe. You know, you're a cop. And I know Japan is a little bit safer than America in terms of sheer violent crime, but, you know, you're still in harm's way, and and I'm sure many people in this chat will be praying for your safety on a daily basis. God bless you. I agree too. What you said about like video gaming. Yeah, man, I just can't play anymore. It sucks. But maybe there's a bright side to it. I think one day, you know, maybe 10 years from now, when your daughter's older, when my daughter's older, maybe we'll sit down and play Mario Kart with them as a way to bond with them. Who knows?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I would actually like that. I would actually like that to happen.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
That would actually be great for YouTube content too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Alright, guys, I gotta go because it's getting sunny out here, and I gotta get back to daddy duty.
Sounds good, brother.
Salo, thank you very, very much for having me on your stream. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. We've been trying to do this for a while. I'm glad it finally happened.
I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining, Lodi. So,
arigatou gozaimasu.
Please give Chiba Gaming a follow. He's on Twitter. He's on YouTube. YouTube page has been up here. Great guy. A new daddy like myself just 8 months ago. Obviously a cop in Japan. Gentleman with a great head on his shoulders and a good heart. That's really it. Just to reiterate on my end for you guys. Again, I already said all this, but for those of you asking about Saladon fight future, yes, we are definitely going to fight again in the future. I'm thinking of... Obviously, that's a family decision now. My wife totally supports me fighting. I don't know how the daughter feels about me fighting yet. Based on how often she tries to, punch me. I think she likes me fighting too. But I'm thinking early 2025. I'm thinking like maybe January 2025. I really don't want to miss any of those golden months, like especially those first few months with the kid. But I'm thinking early 2025. Gonna fight again. In terms of YouTube content, I'm sorry I can't be as active as I'd love to be. King Sly T, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You said bigs up to the Don Dada and congrats on being a dad and having your own spot and not living with mommy or Section 8. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. Because one of the things we didn't get to talk about was that my daughter really brings out the best in me. I've been doing so much work on the house since she's been born. I installed a new kitchen sink, installed a new whole house filter, installed new toilets and crap. It's been great. It's been absolutely great. Thank you so much, King. And speaking of that, like in terms of the YouTube future of this channel, what I want to do next, I still want to do a video essay next. I still want to do a little essay on the prank call community. We'll see what happens. I can't promise you guys anything. I'm sorry I can't be as active as I'd like to be, but and I need to get back on Discord. I'm sorry for everyone I've been ghosting on Discord, but holy crap, I'm not sleeping much right now, to say the least. I'm very busy right now. I'm living off these crappy ass energy drinks. But don't worry, I'm happy. And we'll see. You said you're gonna be a dad in October? Congrats. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Happy for you, King. I love you, King. I think next time if he's up for it, maybe next time we go live, we interview the man, the myth, the legend, King Sly T. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Love you guys too. I think that's it for me. Thank you again for the super chat, King Sly T, and thank you everyone who tuned in. Thought we had a great conversation with Chiba, and that's a conversation I've been wanting to have for a very long time. So I'll see you in the future. Those of you who hate me, you'll definitely get the chance to see me get knocked out in the future. Those of you who love me, you'll get the chance to see me win a fight in the future, I promise. In terms of video essay content, it's coming. I hope to do that by the end of this year. What else? In terms of Discord, I promise I'll get back into Discord. I'm sorry I've been ghosting you all. When I opened the Discord to talk to Chiba, I saw like 10 people with messages that I haven't read yet, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. When I get stressed and like when stuff starts to compound, like one of the first things to go for me is responding to text messages and responding to Discord messages. Like it's just how it's always been. But I love you guys. Stay safe. Imo, thank you for supporting. I love you, Imo. Eminem, I saw your text too. Thank you so much. Lukey, I think I gotta get you a Discord invite if someone hasn't done that already. Matt, could you send it to him if I don't? Sir, love you. Love all of you. Love you, Inverted 31. Let's watch a Rangers game together next year. Thank you, Will. God bless you, Will. God bless you, Chozo. God bless you, Max. God bless you, Ragnarok. God bless you, Nedson. Me, Mailing.